Okay, Scotland versus England at Murryfield in the Six Nations. It's finished 30 points to 21 to Scotland. It was 17 points to 13 at half time. England were 10-0 up at one point in this game. Scotland have come from behind to win. Good response from Scotland considering the defeat to France and the narrow victory over Wales, considering that they were 27 points to nil up in that game against Wales. So they put in a rounded 80-minute performance. It was a scrappy game. It was an entertaining game. Van der Merwe's had a hat trick, and he's been sin binned, potentially upgraded to a red card. Although I didn't see it get upgraded while play was still ongoing. George Ford has slotted a drop goal. There's that. And Faye Waboso has scored his first try for England, as has George Furbank. So the tries by England bookend the tries by Scotland in the middle, which is the Van der Merwe show. Now, game itself, as I say, England started the better of the two sides. They were 10-0 up after 15 minutes. George Furbank's try is off first phase of scrum. Scotland will be disappointed defensively with that. George Ford's converted, and George Ford slots a penalty on 15 minutes. England are, I wouldn't say dominant, but they are dominating the territory. Scotland are having a few issues getting out of their end. And they would be very disappointed with the Furbank try that they conceded off first phase off a scrum. Then it's the Van der Merwe show. Now, the first try comes from a line break. They figure out the blitz defence. That's Hugh Jones and Tuipulotu. Bit of handling, bit of interplay, and Van der Merwe finishes off the break, scores the try in 20 minutes. Then there's his try in 30 minutes, which is the solo effort, which is just, well, England have overplayed, but knock it on, and Hugh Jones picks it up, and Van der Merwe's gone, and he's quick. He's very quick. You're not stopping him. Solo try by Van der Merwe. That's on 30 minutes. Russell has converted both of these, and then Finn Russell slots a penalty on 35 minutes before George Ford responds with an opportunist drop goal on 36 minutes just to keep England within 5 points, and that is the half. Now, there's a lot of handling errors in this half. Now, while Van der Merwe scored two brilliant tries, one through, the Scottish players figuring out the blitz defence. Before that first Scotland try, England hadn't been troubled defensively, but Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones unlock the blitz defence there through the middle, and Van der Merwe is the recipient of the try. And then, the breakaway try by Van der Merwe, I think that was a massive momentum swing that England couldn't quite get back, but it finished 17-13 at half time. Van der Merwe gets his third and hat-trick try on 45 minutes, so as soon as, not very long after half time, Scotland are dominating now. Again, they figured out the blitz defence. They've made a line break. It's this blitz defence. Italy went wide around the blitz defence and exploited them, and exploited the English weakness. Scotland have gone through the middle of the blitz defence because of overreads, so they're still figuring out this defensive system. The players aren't settled with it yet, and it's cost them in this game. Van der Merwe's got his hat-trick. And then the game really does just get scrappy. Now, George Ford has a penalty on 50 minutes. Finn Russell keeps the scoreboard ticking over for Scotland on 57 and 65 minutes. But this is the scrappy phase. This is when the ball's getting knocked on a lot of turnovers. Neither side building multiple phase play, more than 3 or 4 phases before there's a turnover or a penalty or a free kick, knock on, offsides, that kind of thing. Ellis Genge is lucky that his what can be described as a shoulder charge into a ruck. Didn't make contact with a Scottish player. He makes contact with Chesham. But he's very, very lucky that he wasn't sin-bin. I think if he makes contact with a Scottish player and that, he's off, and that could be potentially upgraded to a red. The referee was, talking to him. That was just before the George Ford penalty on 50 minutes. Around then, absolute brain snap by Ellis Genge. It's an illegal clear out, but it doesn't end up being a penalty because he clears out his own player. But really stupid move there. But then, as I say, the game breaks down, but that's one of the main talking points out of a 15-20 minute period of play. Emmanuel Faye Waboso's try in 66 minutes. He's just come on the field, and again, that's through a gap that, red paths over red, too close to the ruck. He's followed the ball, not his opposite number. There's a gap appeared, and Faye Weboso is quick. He's very quick, and he scores his first try for England on 66 minutes. But Finn Smith, the replacement fly half, whose parents are both Scottish. There's a lot of English players playing for Scotland, a lot of Scottish players playing for England. It's weird. He misses the conversion, which would have, I think, given England a losing bonus point. They come away with nothing from this game. And that's the end of the scoring on 66 minutes. Now, England aren't out of the game at this point. Scotland aren't fully in control of the game at this point. But England are forcing the play a little bit. Scotland's aren't putting the game to bed at this point. And then Van der Merwe is sin bin for a dangerous jump tackle or tip tackle. Now, he's only just got it wrong, I would say, but with the way the game has changed, if the opposition player's feet are up in the air, you're gonna end up in the sin bin. Now, whether that gets upgraded to a red and whether there's a lengthy suspension coming out of that is another thing. But I think it does put a damper on a very good performance by Van der Merwe in open play. His 3 tries were fantastic. One of them, the third one's from a crossfield kick. The second one is a solo effort, and the first one is through a line break through the blitz defence. The third one comes to a line break through the blitz defence, and ultimately there's a crossfield kick, and Van der Merwe is there to touch it down. So three different ways for that he scored, but he's had a great game. But that tip tackle, dangerous tackle, I don't think it's the worst one I've ever seen. It's borderline just a penalty, but with the way rugby's going with some of their reactionary rule changes and this video ref TMO review thing, which I'm not a fan of, I think if that is a yellow on the field, it should remain a yellow. Player gets up, no complaints from the player tackled, no overly massive complaints from the England players. I think the game's right at the end. I think we need to give a bit more power to the on-field officials in that regard. Personally, I wasn't a massive fan as the World Cup went on with this TMO review system. It adds even more time to the game. It doesn't speed it up. We saw it being used for the Ellis Genge incident where he clears out his own player. With the Van der Merwe one, it was quite quickly done, and it was resolved quite quickly. But we've seen in other games it does all become about the TMO, and it is dividing fans. I think is a good way to look at it. Fans are divided on the issue, and we're seeing similar issues in rugby league, in the Super League, and to a certain extent the NRL as well. And of course, for regular viewers, you'll know I'm a bit more of a rugby league fan than union fan these days, and in part it's because World Rugby keep coming in with these rule changes and TMO, what the TMO looks at and the time spent looking at video replays by the video ref, which takes time out of the game. The 2 games today have been very fast flowing, very, very high energy and high paced, and very entertaining. And yes, there's been some sin binnings today. I think Van der Merwe is looking at a suspension with the way things are going. I don't think it's a terrible tackle, but I understand, player welfare is important, but it's not the worst tip tackle in the world. The player lands on his back, it's just his feet go up in the air. But in fact, it's a very good defensive read as well. And 5-10 years ago, we're patting Van der Merwe on the back going, that is a brilliant hit, and the fans love it because it's the gladiatorial nature of the sport. And yes, player welfare and concussion and other serious injuries, it's more than just concussion, needs to be taken into consideration. But I think a bit of refereeing with common sense and some, maybe wind back the TMO a little bit, because I don't think Van der Merwe has gone out there to intentionally tip tackle the player. He's got it slightly wrong. Ellis Genge, on the other hand, I think he's gone in with the intention to drop his shoulder and he doesn't care who he's going to clear out. That is a lazy effort by Ellis Genge, and he's very lucky he's cleared out his own player and not made significant contact with his own player, because Chesham could have got badly injured with that. That's a deliberate play. Van der Merwe's, he's got it technique slightly wrong and it's accidental. And we're going to have this debate for quite some time. But there we go. I'm going to leave that there. That is a big talking point from me for now. That's all from me. We'll obviously have the France-Italy game tomorrow, which I'll review, and then we've got a lot of FA Cup games, and I will try my best in between now and the France-Italy game to see if I can watch the World Club Challenge. I know it's on Sky Sports, which I don't have, and so I'll either have to wait for it to be on the NRL YouTube channel to watch it, or I'm going to have to see if it is on the NRL website and I can watch it if it's on Geoblocks, because with my new laptop I'm not willing to get a VPN or an illegal stream. So I'll try my best to make sure I do watch and review the World Cup Challenge. The video may be up tomorrow. But from me for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more content for you all very, very soon.